Yeah, pass it around. I don't want to get up in front of Mike.
Pass it around, everybody take a picture and pass it
around. Not on the ground, please. Oh, oops. Thank you. Might get him. Walk around yet.
Another home written song.
Sure is.
Great, John.
Well, I've still got it.
Oh, have you? I never threw any of my marks away. They just
No,
got
I
plant.
I got it in the truck.
Not that I blame you. You like that long bite?
Oh, I like what?
Yeah, get it off. Get it off. What the hell? Platoon comes right.
So then we stop. Well, maybe go back and look. I'm not going to drive out and take a picture of it. I know you'll die. I turn around and right.
Look at him there. Go on.
My Savior lives inside me, and all I gotta do is set him free. I'm gonna on a mountain, I ain't coming down till morning. Going up on the mountain, I ain't coming down till day. I'm gonna up on the mountain, I ain't coming down till morning. Going up on the mountain. I walked in the roadside tavern. The smell of drink was in the air. After my money on the counter, this pretty young maid was standing there. My thoughts ain't drifting so far from me as I looked upon her smiling face. I knew she was my kind of woman. No one on earth could take her place. I said when working hours are over, I would just love to see you home. She said, young man, that is my pleasure. And soon we found ourselves alone. We rolled our arms around each other. I felt the knife stick in her back. She turned and saw her love running and said his name is Barton Jack. She did not know lover's bottle. She did not know he was around until the pain of death had struck her, and now she's sleeping in the ground. I sit alone and out in prison. My thoughts are of a girl so fair, and I met one night at the roadside tavern when the smell of drink was in the air. Too many miles on me to change my ways I cannot see. Before I die, I can't be very far away. I believe in the God that never fails. Shone up from the belly of the window. Give me that old time religion that's for me. Well, I won't go through a burning the hell if I believe what the Bible told. No, I conquer that old devil if I pray. Nothing to a prince of fire, low down thief, a cheater, and a liar. But the Lord will give you love and treat you well. Now, there's too many miles on me. Change my ways I cannot see. Before I die, I can't be very far.
we really appreciate the sympathy. We're trying to drag along with this as fast as we can go. This is the smartest community I ever been in. It's absolute. I never been in such an intellectual place. We come into this state last night, and I seen a thing I'd not seen in quite a while. They went in, they have this place out there called the Welcome Center. Rest area. I went in there and conducted a little business, and of course washed my hands, and come out and get ready to dry them, and they had a hand dryer with written instructions on it. I was dazzled. I mean, out where we come from, this is what you get. Now you guys, it says, and it wasn't just simple instructions, it had epithets with it. It said, press button firmly. Rub hands vigorously. Dryer will shut off atomically. And automatically. Now here's my question for, what do they call Minnesotans? Gophers? Is that true? Here's my questions for the Gophers. Do you reckon there are somebody that doesn't know how to operate one of them things that does know how to read? I like to go every different kind of place because they have a lot of different stuff for you to see. And this, for instance, have you ever noticed right here in Minnesota, I noticed this just yesterday as we come into the state, you guys aren't quite as line bred as we are down in the country. I mean, we got a lot of people down in my county whose family trees don't even fork. And people out here, like you got a lot of very nice looking women, other than say California, where they have it, like a lot of gender confusion. You might have some of the best looking women I ever seen, and fortunately the men is real ugly. That's a good thing about this place. And I see men out there trying to laugh it off. And deny, and yet Garrison Keillor's from here, isn't he? I mean, can you imagine him and Raymond Fairchild and Bill Harrell and Yasser Arafat in an ugly contest? A new banjo player with us. This is his first time. He woke up this morning wondering what he got himself into. He's an ethnomusicologist.
Are you allowed to say that for the family audience? That's the longest word Ron's ever said. It's 7 syllables.
Well, I was trying to study up on this ethno-archaeology, and I got me a book I called In Search of the Neanderthals. And I thought, I'm going to find out about Kentuckians. And you know how when you get a good book, you look through the pictures there, and the first pictures I seen was a bunch of guys with slide rules and pocket pencils, and it turned out to be In Search of the Nerdenthals. Anyways, he knows all the banjo numbers, from 1 to 3. And I'll tell you something, people used to say these things called banjo jokes, but now we have educated people playing the banjo. We don't, in fact, we have started to concentrate on all the good things you can say about the banjo. Political correctness. For instance, I know people used to say things like the only difference between a banjo and a Harley Davidson was you could tune a Harley Davidson. Right. But there are good things for instance, if it wasn't for the banjo, all the bluegrass songs wouldn't sound alike. If it wasn't for banjo players drooling out both sides of their mouth, you couldn't tell when the stage was level. And so, as everybody knows, there are 2 banjo numbers, and this one's not Foggy Mountain Breakdown. Bill Evans there on the banjo. We try to make up some information that he might not know yet down at that big fancy university college. And one of the reasons we like to give the information out on the true ethnic background of these songs is because people wants to go down and pass a minimum competency test for Kentucky citizenship. And since we was here last, they've done an evil thing. It used to be all you had to be able to do was like guess your sex and find the aardvark hidden in the back of a pickup truck or something. Last year they started a thing called thought questions, story problems. And I passed my, I don't know this year's thought question. I can tell you last year's kind of psych up if you're getting ready to go down that way and you want to vote for your favorite candidate for knife fighting queen or something and you're afraid you're not going to be able to pass the test. Last year's problem, just to get you to see if you're even up to this kind of thing. If, I'll try to edit it down, if two uncivilized, full primitive redneck hillbillies of the first order whose family tree was a tall pine, got married and was married for a real long time, more years than there are banjo numbers, and then got a divorce, a legal divorce by a great Philadelphia lawyer. Couldn't get no legaler than that. Now, there's a guy back here taking notes. You're not allowed to have a scratch sheet. You got to work this out in your head. Married, rednecks, full primitive, uncivilized, people who still think that stone tools is an advanced cultural implement. People who think that when they go to the Bluegrass Festival and somebody's got some of them tools holding down their flyers, that they'll steal some and take home and work on their pickup truck. These kind of uncivilized people. Was married.
Those digital calculators.
Digital calculators, yes. And got divorced. You with me so far? Would they still be cousins? They don't know. There was nervous laughter on the test too, yeah. Well, I told you I'd tell you this because we do try to give out this true historical information. And what happened was years ago they had, times was more liberated than they are now. And they used to name periods of time after women. And like the first one they named was named the Elizabethan era after Queen Elizabeth. And time passed, as you always hope it will, and pretty soon they come up with another period of time and called it the Victorian time after Queen Victoria. And they name other stuff after women too, like the state of Virginia was named after Queen Elizabeth because she was the Virgin Queen, in spite of everything Sir Walter Raleigh tried. And the state of West Virginia, for instance, was named after Queen John Duffy. And like a lot of states west of the Mississippi was named after California bluegrass musicians and stuff. And so every queen would have a state named after them, kind of like. And then they had, in the Victorian times, and this is the part you might not be familiar with, even back then, men would get testosterone poisoning. But there wasn't no acceptable way to burn it off. There wasn't no remote control to hog. There wasn't no filling stations that refused to go in and ask for directions. And it was hard being a man back in them times. It was difficult. And I knew it. I'm trying to get down to the heart of this story. Well, what men would do is they would become explorers, and they would go look for stuff. And the most difficult part about being a man in Victorian time was darn near everything had been found, except for one place, and it was called the Northwest Passage. And the hardest part of finding the Northwest Passage was you had to look up in the Northwest. And finally, some people got the idea to do it. They was called the Sir John Franklin guys, and they went over there looking for it. And they not only was explorers, but they was pioneers. They had invented canned food. Thank God for John Franklin. What? Tuna, beanie weenies, spam.
Tennis balls.
The whole thing. Well, what happened was they got over here and they got hungry and they opened up some of these cans of food and they had been soldered shut with lead, which is a heavy metal. And the heavy metal went to their brain just like it does any teenager maybe who listens to devil begotten, hair besodden, pimple be-ridden, maggot infested rock and roll music. And you know what that does to their brain. Let's hear it for devil begotten, pimple be-ridden, hair besodden, maggot infested rock. I didn't know y'all like rock and roll so much here. And, well, anyways, these guys, they got disoriented and lost, and they died of exposure and never got any better. Well, there was this lady named Lady Sir John Franklin got up an expedition to go look for him, and one of the boys on this expedition had just entered puberty, and hormones coursing through his blood with mercury engines on the back. He had just met Sweet Thing, and they was about to have to part. And so this song's based on a letter he wrote back home.
Was midnight on a stormy day. My solitary watch I keep, and I think of her I left behind, and ask if she be true and kind. I never shall forget that day that I was forced to go away in silence. Press me to her loving breast. Saying we don't go back to sea. There's other girls as good as me, but none can love you true as I. Pray don't go where the bullets fly. The deep, deep sea may us divide, and I may be some other's bride, but still my thoughts might sometimes stray to thee when thou art far away. Never had true thoughts to thee. The heart I gave was true as thine, but you have proven untrue to me. I can no longer call thee mine. So fare thee well, I'd rather make my home upon some icy lake, where the southern sun refused to shine, than to trust and love so false like thine.